So today's video is all about another mainstay of Boss Tuneage over the years, and that band is Blocko. So, Blocko. Where do I begin? So, I first met Lloyd, I think, by being introduced to him by Wiz at a Croydon All Dayer, where Blocko were playing as well. And I remember watching the band and thinking, these guys are great. This is brilliant. It really reminded me of Drive. There was obviously a bit of Broccoli in there as well. There was obviously sort of a nod to a lot of the UK bands' sound that that had been sort of integral part of my listening in the early 90s, and these guys were the same. And obviously Lloyd had been Mega City 4's tour manager and merch guy for many years, roadie, so there was an immediate sort of a kinship, I think, and they just recorded 3 songs, and they gave me the 3-song demo, and I said, would you like to put 2 of these you know, the one-sided 7-inch singles I do. Would you like to be the next one-sided 7-inch? I remember sending the 3-track demo out to like Kaza in Japan, and him just going, wow, these guys are brilliant. These guys will be really popular in Japan. I remember him saying that immediately, saying you must do this record. And so we did, and so we put out the Wager Bloated one-sided 7-inch late on in 2000.
And the 300 copies really didn't hang around very long. I think probably half of them went straight to Japan. And already there were talks about, you know, how can we get these guys over to play in Japan? You know, it was the most enthusiastic that I think I'd known the Japanese guys about a band at that point. So I'd obviously already said to them, look, I'd love to do something else by you. And they said, well, we're going to go in and record some songs. We've committed to doing a couple of split 7-inch singles. One for Kaza, which I think was for the tour possibly, with See Her Tonight, and another one with Steve from Bombed Out Records with the band 86. So me and Steve got in touch and we decided to do that in the end as a Bombed Out Boss Tuneage co-release. But they recorded about another 6 songs. So the idea was put together to put out a mini CD, and that mini CD would of course be Oomo. And that really started to show what this band was going to be capable of moving forward. Oomo would appear in 2001. Obviously now the band were getting loads and loads of supports to bands. They started to tour with American bands and get really active. So the lineup of Blockco obviously was Lloyd was on bass, Nidge was on guitar and vocals, and Mates was on drums. So Oomo, I think it took a while. I don't think it came out, we didn't sort of put it straight out, but they sort of sorted it all out and got the artwork together, and we did it obviously as in the packaging of the wallet with a booklet like we've done, and that came out in 2001. It soon became clear we were going to need to repress it, so we repressed it, I think, again in a wallet, and then for the third pressing, because this was how it was sort of progressing, we actually changed it then to a jewel case version, away from the wallets. But yeah, it was, I think at the time there was a real buzz on Blockco, and it was brilliant to be part of. So we'd always make sure we were trying to get them on every single one of the all-day gigs we were doing, to try and get on a few of the dates of the bands that were coming over to tour. They were just kind of mainstays of the label at that time. So on the back of Oomo, I believe that Blocko then became the second band after Annalise from the UK on the label to go out and tour Japan, where they went down brilliantly. Have brilliant memories of those tours. But they also started to tour Europe. I remember, I think Strike Anywhere asked them to support them on the European tour, so they were getting out and about there and really spreading the name of the label at the same time as spreading their own name. It was just a no-brainer that I wanted to continue working with them after Oomo. Oomo had done really well. By that time as well, we'd started working with the GZ vinyl plant at Key, and there was an option to do picture discs. So I put forward the idea that we would do Oomo as a 10-inch picture disc, and so we obviously did a vinyl version of Oomo as a picture disc. There weren't that many pressed, so it's probably quite hard to come by. And in fact, the album that would follow, there weren't many pressed of that. I think we only pressed 300 on vinyl of the album. We did about 2,000 and a bit of the CDs from memory, but there aren't that many vinyl copies out there. So treasure them if you got one. And the other thing I think you can say about Blockco is that they were there at the front watching the other bands. They were really involved in the scene. They were all fans of the other bands on the label, and they were really integral, and you would just see them at gigs constantly. You'd either see Lloyd, Nidge, Mates, or all three of them at many gigs over that period. It was a lovely time, actually. It's a time I look back on really fondly. We used to have gigs at the Verge, and the running gag used to be, because obviously by this time in 2001, we'd moved out the flat and we were living in Bedfordshire. And I think my last train out of King's Cross of an evening was at sort of like 10 o'clock at night or something to get home. So and the Verge was just up from where I worked, so we'd all meet at sort of Quinn's, which was the pub on the corner, for a drink, and then go up to the Verge. And I'd always only ever watch the support acts. I'd never see the main band, because I'd be there to see like Blocko or whoever was playing, supporting, and I'd see the first couple of bands, and then before the headliners, who more often than not had come from overseas, where I was like, right, I'm off now, see you later. So it used to be the running gag, is like, gotta get home, So I saw lots of half gigs at the Verge over those years. And I remember as soon as Oomo was recorded, I was on them saying, right, what are you going to do next? What are we going to do next? And so they planned to do an album. Now the album, they'd actually been, because I think at this point they'd toured possibly by this time with Strike Anywhere. And I think plans were put afoot to go over to the States to actually record the album. They'd been recording down at the studio in Croydon up to this point. And so I think they booked their flights and they went over and decided they were going to record the album in America. Now that was great, but until they got back, and basically there was a hard drive failure, so bits of some of the songs were lost. I remember it was quite a painstaking thing to put it all together. And I think the song Dry Sky, a whole section of it was lost that they'd recorded. And obviously it wasn't a quick thing to just pop back over to the States to re-record it. So they had to actually join together, I think, the intro of Dry Sky from a live show that you probably wouldn't know if you didn't know this, to do it. So yeah, so it was a long process. So I remember it continued on all the way through 2002, and it was only going to be in 2003 when the album came out. Now the album's either known as Same Title or Edmonson Avenue, which is obviously on the front cover, and it's a brilliant album. It obviously had a couple of older recordings from the Oomo sessions that had been on the split 7-inches were involved, and then the new songs that they managed to record over in the States. But yeah, it's one of the finest releases in that whole era of Boss Tuneage that we did. So yeah, it was a really exciting time to be involved in that. And I remember, I believe from memory, the Blockco album came out at exactly the same time as the K-Line album. So it was two stonking releases at the same time, and it really helped the profile of the label at that time. I think just having two cracking new UK bands releasing brilliant albums that simultaneously was fantastic. And they were lovely people as well. We got on really, really well. And by the time Edmonson Avenue was actually sort of ready to go, by that time we were obviously doing lots of co-releases with Does Everyone Stare in Canada. And Glenn was a big fan as well. And he definitely wanted to be involved. I think we might have, on the third Oomo repressing, actually included Does Everyone Stare's details on that at that point. I could be wrong on that, but I know that Glenn was really keen to be involved on the Blockco record as well.
Something at the
But I think sort of soon after the album came out, as we go into 2004, I think Lloyd actually left the band, and they had another guy in for a while called Andy playing bass, but it wasn't kind of the same, and I think things were just starting, the wheels were kind of coming off. I think they at that time, I think they thought they'd done everything that they kind of could with the band, but you know, our associations didn't end there. When Blockco ended, you know, we still dealt with Nidge with his band that he set up called New Set of Bruises. Mates we were involved with he did a band called Sevens and Nines, and then did the No Marks, which I helped Brassneck sort of release those. Nidge and Mates did a one-off project called Highland with two of the guys from Chestnut Road, who we ended up releasing stuff by as well later on. And of course Lloyd would be in Southport. He was in a band called Ruin You, but then he ended up playing bass in Southport around the time we released Armchair Supporters by Southport back in 2009. And obviously Lloyd has been in Bear Trade and Misfortune Cookie to this day. So yeah, and then Nidge and Mates would come back together again in a band called Weeks. But I also think, despite them being sort of really well known at the time, a lot of people discovered Blocko after they had split up. And I remember that, you know, I was going through bands that, you know, this was about 2012, like bands that we could do on the retro series, and the whole idea of compiling everything, because obviously a lot of the Blockco recordings had either been on split singles or, you know, hadn't been released, or they'd recorded extra songs for comps. I put together the suggestion that we do a Blockco best of, you know, and include absolutely everything the band recorded on a double CD. And so South London versus the Rest of the World came out on the retro series in 2013. And it was great. It was great to sort of compile everything that was there, because I was just documenting the band that had been so important at that time. And Joe Watson did some fantastic artwork for that as well, as a friend of the band. It was great, and I think that, I think in some ways it showed that actually Blockco really meant a lot to a lot of people, even sort of 10 years on from them, their demise. So yeah, it was lovely to document that as part of the retro series. So I think for a lot of people in the UK, the name Blocko and Boss Tuneage, were really heavily linked together, and they are a really important band on the label. And obviously it was a mammoth shock when we lost Mates a couple of years ago. I'd been in sporadic touch with him, but I hadn't realised that he was fighting quite so many demons, and it was with real sadness that I heard about him. I was actually at Edinburgh Airport on a Sunday morning going to fly out to the Czech Republic when I got the message from Nidge, and it was a massive shock, and it's really hard to know that I won't be at a gig in London and bump into Mates, which seemed to happen, virtually every week at one point. So that's a real sadness that he's not here now. But we did help with some suicide prevention charities in the Isle of Wight, and we still have their best of South London versus the Rest of the World available on Bandcamp for a donation, and all monies from that will always go to that charity. But Blocko, I'm sure you're aware of them if you're watching this label already, watching this YouTube channel, but if you're not aware, go and check them out, because they were one of the finest bands at the turn of the century to come out of this country, and I'm really immensely proud that we were involved. That's it for this one. See you on the next one.